Number one thing you're hearing at this conference, takeaways from PMs.
Well, the first one is that I have the cutest daughter in the world.
Absolutely.
Her name is Barrett.
Hi, Barrett.
And then the second one is You're okay. We're still hearing from a lot of property managers that they are... Barrett, hold on one second.
Barrett, come see me.
Hey, property management friends, we've got a really fun and unique show for you today. Last week, the RentScale and Strategic PM teams were out in Colorado Springs at the Broadmoor at NARPM's Broker Owner 2025 conference. It was fantastic, and we brought the whole team. We brought a RentScale booth, we brought a Strategic PM booth, and we brought microphones to interview the conference attendees about what their biggest takeaways were, what they were most excited about in 2025 in residential property management. We've spliced it all together. I've got interviews, we've got clips. We're going to show you what it was like to be there. Maybe you'll see yourself on here, you'll see your friends. And if you missed something, watch this review because you'll see exactly what everybody was buzzing about at the show. But before we do that, I've also got some special friends here to walk you through the business development scoreboard. Jen and Reese, take it away.
Hey property managers, welcome to another Scale Club scoreboard update, this time for the month of March 2025. You guys might see that I've got somebody a lot prettier over here to the side of me, and that's because we've got some shockers on the Scale Club scoreboard, and I just wanted to bring somebody else in who could chat with you guys about what we're seeing and what you should be doing to make sure that you're still doing some things to grow your company in what we've seen is an unusually slow month of March. So before we dive into those things, I just want to walk you through the scoreboard and show you what we're seeing. So you will see here that for March of 2025, you will see the average number of doors that we have across our entire community of 6, which is down just about 25%. Honestly, that's about 2 doors from February of 2025. We also have 11 doors for our top 50%, which is equal to what it was in February. You'll also recall that in February, we were predicting that there was going to be a big release coming in March and saying that, hey, February was a little bit slow, but that was completely anticipated. Now we have March, which is also a little bit slow, which is kind of weird. So we are going to take a look at that. We're going to break it down today for you. But we've got Phoenix coming in at a whopping 90 doors. Those guys are absolutely crushing it out there, and we could not be happier to see their success. Reese will talk a little bit more about what that was and how they really achieved that. So can't wait to talk with you about that. We've got Memphis, Tennessee, always a consistent performer. Believe it or not, down at 20 doors this month in the month of March. And then we've got San Diego, California at 15, Sacramento at 13, Oklahoma City at 12, for a total of 301 doors, which was down from the month of February. Overall, leads in our community is down by just 1, and that is at 15, and our clients are sitting at about 78% of goal. So, Reese, with these numbers, we saw some surprising statistics.
Yeah, we did. It was not what we were expecting for March. The lead volume seemed to be pretty consistent from what we've seen in the prior months, but door closings was a huge shocker for what we were expecting. I really can't put a finger on it like right now, but a lot of the feedback that we were getting from our Scale Club community was these leads that are coming in are not looking to do their property as a rental property until the summer, which is a little concerning, right? We're going to have an inventory backup during a time where inventory is naturally higher, where people are moving around. So we are definitely going to be on the lookout for that and see if it translates into a big inventory summer on the rental side.
So, reflected in the scoreboard, I said we've got leads are about equal, down by about 1. Have you seen that in the Scale Club community, and do you see leads picking up coming into April?
Yeah, leads have been pretty consistent. Back half of March really picked up. The first part was really slow on the lead side. So leads have been pretty consistent, but again, the conversations have not been insta-close leads, which is a little different. Typically, we see a blend, and it's been heavy on the side of, hey, we're just kind of shopping. We're 30, 60, 90 days out before we're going to put this property on the market.
I get that. Okay, so longer lead times. We're looking at longer sales cycles.
Yep.
Close is taking a little while. What are some things we're doing in our community as we see that, right, as a trend? How are we keeping people accountable for ensuring that these deals that didn't close in March do close later down the line?
Yeah. So the first component is education. So when these types of owners are calling in, what we're talking to our community about is educate them on the 5 phone calls that they received prior to talking to them have had the exact same plan. So letting them know that if everybody has the exact same plan and putting their property on the market at the exact same time, you have an inventory influx, days on market are going to go up and the prices are going to come down. So educating these owners or prospects when they call in and letting them know that maybe now is time to push the urgency button, get this out there prior to the summer coming around so that they have the best opportunity for success. Now, not every owner is going to be able to change their move date and their relocations. So the secondary piece of it is follow-up. You've got to keep a consistent check-in cadence with these types of prospects so that you can make sure you're staying in touch with them, continuing to build a relationship so when the summer does come around and they're ready to make that decision, that you have a very strong relationship and you can get them on the market immediately.
Yeah, I know that the whole follow-up game, the whole nurture game, like that is something that you have to continue to push. I think a lot of these BDMs and even owners expect that these leads are just going to close in the next day.
Yeah.
What are you seeing for average sales cycles approximately right now?
Yeah, so we're looking a little over 30 days right now, which is interesting because I have seen BDMs in these prior months where we're getting some 7 to 14 day sales cycle where people have had them on the market or you've got an investor looking to make a change. But there seems to be this new wave of leads where it's extending out. They're doing a little bit more shopping. There's a little bit more trust building. So we have our community leaning into that harder than ever, making sure that they know everything about this prospect, what they've got going on in their life so they can develop that relationship and look at it as a positive. A lot of BDMs initially when they're like, oh, they're not closing today, they get a little frustrated. But what we want to position that as is that gives us a little bit more opportunity to educate and bring them in as an ideal fit client and understand the expectations of what they're going to see when they sign up with us. So instead of looking at it as glass half empty, we look at it as half full. And what can we do with this if the sales cycle is a little bit longer? So we've taught them to even ask those prospects if they know anybody else is in the same situation as they're going through the sales process.
I love that. I think that's great. Well, on Friday, we were on with the entire community doing a skill development, and man, it received amazing feedback from the BDMs, which, you know, we were a little bit like, I don't know how this is going to go.
Yeah.
Let's try this out, but got great feedback. Tell me a little bit about that skill development session that we had and what BDMs got to experience.
Yeah. So we've been leading in a lot of rent scale with sweat equity versus check equity coming around outbound. Last year, Hannah and I went to Jeb Blunt's Outbound Conference out in Texas, learned a lot about how to generate those types of leads. So we brought that to the community for this first quarter. First skill dev in January was all about building a list, where to go find those opportunities where you can go reach out to new prospects. Second, in February was all about the messaging behind it. And then last Friday, we put it to the test. We made people do it live in front of all their peers. And you should have seen the red camera faces that came on when they found out what they had to do.
Yeah.
But everybody did it. They learned something inside of that, and it gave them the confidence now to go out and reach out to people that don't even know who they are as part of their outbound prospecting plan.
Yeah.
So we learned a lot, gave our BDMs a lot of confidence by doing it in front of their peers so that they can go out and do it for prospects. So I'm looking forward to see the results, especially as we're leading into the summer months where there may be a lot of accidental landlords out there. I think it's a great opportunity.
I agree. And I also think with things kind of slowing down, sales cycles extending out, doing that outbound prospecting, I mean, we know it's important. We've always preached, like, from the beginning how important the outbound prospecting is. But when you're in a phase like this is what saves your sales months. The outbound prospecting, the extra steps, the stepping out, the uncomfortable. But our community is really embracing it. It's all about a mindset.
They are, and they're stepping into the uncomfortable. We're doing it as a team versus doing it individually. So they're getting some feedback from some people that have been doing it for quite some time. We're getting some industry experts that are coming in as well. So it's been well received, and I think there's going to be a huge momentum behind this as we roll into the coming months, as we do it together, scheduling those one-on-one outbound calling sessions to generate leads for people that would have never even known who they were unless they made that phone call.
I love that. Okay, last thing I want to talk to you about today, we've obviously got an outlier here on the scoreboard. Phoenix, Arizona at 90 doors. You know, that's amazing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
And 90 doors, how long has this company been in business?
Company's about 2 years now.
Okay.
And one thing that I've been working with the owners of this company on was the sweat equity piece of it. So we really worked on the reputation of the company from a digital standpoint. So the entire company got behind this culture of 5-star experiences, started asking anybody and everybody. And not only were they asking, but they were delivering a 5-star experience. So out of the blue, because of that reputation, they had a lead call them with 84 doors and strictly found them because of their reputation. And during that conversation, price was not mentioned one single time. Because of the reputation, they almost felt like they had to pay whatever to be a part of this company. So it just goes to show you, if you do the right things, have the right culture, you can have some big things that come down the pipeline. And I was super proud of those guys that did that. I know they put a lot of work into it. Now they're into the onboarding part, so they've got all the admin work that goes behind it. But super proud of what they've done and the continued push for reputation that they're going to have.
Yeah, that's incredible. 90 doors, not a mention of price.
That's
and
wild.
2 years in business. They've scaled so fast.
Yep.
And they've been with Brent Scale since day one, just trying to work through and figure out this whole entire thing. Well, huge congratulations to those guys. That's absolutely incredible. And we wish them nothing but more and more success as we continue. All right, guys. Well, that's it for our Scale Club scoreboard update for March. Reese, when we come back in April, are we going to have better news for these people?
I believe so. I think the pipelines are building up the second half of March. We're going to start seeing some of those deals starting to fall in and start the slingshot for the summer months.
Okay. I like hearing that. I'm sure you guys do too. We will be back at you shortly. But for now, back to you, Jeremy.
That was fun to have the whole leadership team from Rentscale here at the studio, aka my house, where they were actually able to record live here on the set. That was a lot of fun. It's always great to get together in person. Lots of takeaways there, lots of good information, lots of activities and endeavors that we're watching happen in the residential property management industry. All right. But before we filmed here, we had our leadership meeting. We were off in Colorado Springs, and I'm excited to show you a little behind the scenes of what we heard at the trade show and what it was like to be there. Let's take a look at what we were doing. Over 300 attendees, tons of first-timers, and a whole lot of action. We're taking you behind the scenes of one of the biggest events of the year, the NARPM Broker Owner Conference. I was there as a speaker and an exhibiting vendor. So what you're about to get is one vendor's eye view of the experience. First up, the location. The Broadmoor in Colorado Springs. Folks, this isn't your average conference hotel. We're talking about one of only a handful of Forbes 5-star resorts in the entire country. Opened in 1918, this place has hosted presidents, dignitaries, and now us. Every day we crossed a sparkling lake, surrounded by some of the best looking mountains I've ever seen. The rooms? Let's just say that you won't find crystal chandeliers in a typical chain hotel. It's elegant, old school, and just a little bougie. This was the Broadmoor, and there were definitely some jokes about feeling like royalty. On day one, which was Sunday, I flew in and made a beeline for the Crane Mastermind event. Crane, if you're not familiar, is designed for serious property managers who are ready to take their business to the next level. Jen picked me up at the airport, and we just made it in time to board the Crane train to the top of Pikes Peak. I woke up at sea level that morning, so hitting over 12,000 feet by sunset had me gasping, both from the altitude and the views. It was totally worth it. Seeing friends before the chaos of the conference, that was actually a bonus to the whole event. On Monday, the content kicked off, but honestly, the real show was happening outside. Jen and I had back-to-back meetings out by the lake. This gorgeous restaurant patio, sunshine, and a steady hum of deal making and idea swapping was all around us. This is one of the things that people don't talk about enough. Broker Owner isn't just about the sessions, it's about the spontaneous masterminds over breakfast, the serendipitous connections at lunch, the late night strategy swaps, and all of the meetings in between. That's the gold. On Tuesday, the trade show opened and the parties kicked off. And let me say this. I've been to 7 broker owners, and this was one of the best looking, most well-designed expos yet. New vendors are entering the space in full force. And the OGs, well, they're not getting left behind. They're leveling up. There's better branding, better booths, and better conversations. Now, Wednesday, we had more sessions and more trade show time, and this is when we turned the mic around. We actually asked attendees, what are you learning and what are you taking home from the event? We've got some amazing responses, and Jen captured it all beautifully. Now, inspired by her work, we roamed the floor and got even more highlights. And we'll share those highlights with you in just a second. And then Thursday, the grand finale. Jen and I closed things out with our session, creating a raving fan onboarding experience for new clients. It was my fourth time presenting at Broker Owner in 6 years, and every time I leave more fired up than the last. We're here to share the best stuff we've got to help PMs grow, scale, and thrive. And this one felt special. We were representing both Rentscale and Strategic PM at the trade show, and we were connecting with clients, partners, and future collaborators. And while I wish I could recap every session, I can't because, fun fact, NARPM still prevents affiliate speakers like me from attending most of the sessions. I swear, one day I'm going to start a one-door management company just to sneak into those.
All right, here we go. So tell me how you're going to grow revenue per door in 2025.
By continuing to add more ancillary services. We have about 25 plus services already. Looking at doing in-house security deposit alternatives, and probably Second Nature's internet service, the GRI, which is group rate internet.
Are you doing, you love that? You're excited about it?
Oh, I think it's a win-win. I mean, I don't ever want to implement any kind of service unless somebody benefits.
Love it.
You know, I'm not into the fee maxing and so forth, but if there's a benefit, we're going to make money. The tenant's going to pay less for their internet service and get probably faster speeds than they're getting now. That's a win-win.
You doing anything this year with AI?
Aaron, our son who co-owns the company, is looking at right now a couple of products for AI answering of the phones and that system.
Okay, I love it. Well, I hope you have an awesome conference. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you. Cheers.
Cheers.
Come to Broker Owner to talk to people who've done it before. What's the biggest question you get?
Well, a question I get everywhere I go at any NARPM event, whether it be Broker Owner Nationals or our local chapter meetings, are how do I grow? But that's not really the right question, and I'll be blunt, because they see our growth. We grow about 15 to 20% a year, which is not even enough for me because I want more, but they're really saying, how do I grow without doing anything or spending any money?
Is there an answer for that?
There is, and the answer is you don't, right? So I tell them gently, if you look at any company out there, the smallest to the largest, whether they have a sales staff of 1 or 10,000, they all invest in their sales staff and their growth. And they're constantly making changes in those investments, right? Because what worked 3 years ago probably won't work now, right? For trying to find new clients. So you have to invest to grow your business.
So I got Nate with Key Runner. He's with us today, and we're going to talk a little bit about AI. I know you're excited about it. I know there's some new things coming up, and I heard one of the rooms here at Broker Owner was standing room only. Were you in that room?
I was not in that room.
Okay.
But probably because it was standing room only. There was room for me.
What's room for you?
But yeah, AI is a big deal. In fact, there's several new vendors that are here. Our group, we have several offices piloting with a few of them to see kind of how it can work for them and see what lands and what sticks and what works really well. But I think that my philosophy about AI is let's not use AI to replace people, right? But to support people. There could be some coordinator roles that are no longer as necessary because AI can do a lot of coordination, especially from a communication standpoint. And the more that these vendors here, in fact, there's a couple that are integrating in with Appfolio and Rentline, and the more that they can do the heavy lifting for our people, the more time that our people have to create and build relationships with other people, right?
Yeah.
And the problem I see with some folks that are looking at AI is trying to create this kind of synthetic relationship with their clients, with their residents, and having the face of the company become this AI persona.
Yeah.
And we got to be careful of that, I feel. We're just still at the tip of the iceberg right now when it comes to AI.
Yeah.
There's so much being developed right now, and it's exciting to see what's going to happen, especially over the next 2, 3, 5 years. What up, brother?
I agree. Hey, we got Chapin. You want to get in on this?
Sure. What's happening?
We're talking about AI.
Question is, what do you think about AI in property management?
Game changer. Yeah,
Where-
for my team, especially my international team, they have more confidence than ever because they don't have to wonder, is this how you say it right? Or am I saying the right thing? And, if you really lean into it, we have our policies understood by the AI agent. And so it's been incredibly helpful.
Chapin Hempel, everybody. The man, the myth, the legend.
Man with the legend. Yeah, I love it. Good to see you.
I'm Karen Jordan with HBR Rentals out of California.
Amazing.
I'm Miranda Honeycutt from Foothills Property Management in Anderson, South Carolina. One of the things that I'm doing is we're getting involved more in community sponsorships. So helping like the schools and the baseball teams and just getting our name out there as being part of the community, just kind of giving back. That's one of the things we're doing.
I love that.
We are going to grow ours by helping our investors grow their personal portfolios.
Okay.
So rates are coming down. Our market's getting a little bit better, a little more affordable. So we're really helping them find deals and grow the clients that we already have.
So you're going the route of asset management. You're trying to help the current clients that you have get more doors. That's ultimately your goal.
Yep.
Hi everyone, my name is Lavender Lloyd. I am the Property Management Training Manager at Real Property Management.
All right, so tell me a little bit about what RPM franchisors are doing in 2025 to grow their business.
Well, we are very motivated. Our franchisors are really looking to focus on sales, getting those numbers, getting pushed out there, getting known, but also really going back to basics and checking on their current stats of where are they maybe losing money or where can they make more money, and getting back to the details of refining things, and then really just focusing on sales from there.
But I know that you've got some ambitious goals. What are you focused on to grow your property management company in 2025?
So right now it is coming down to a lot of content creation. We want to grow roughly about 400 doors in 2025 net after churn. So we need to drive really hard. So it's a lot of advancing our team, content creation, and just getting out there and building relationships as much as we can.
Great. Is there anything you're looking for specifically at the conference or at the in the exhibition hall?
Well, one thing was to talk to you.
I appreciate that.
So you could help us on the BDM side.
Shout out to Rent Scale.
Yeah. So one of the objectives is to talk to you guys and then see what else is out there. There's a lot of stuff happening with AI, a lot of new vendors that are doing some exciting things, and it's cool to see the vendor side of things get challenged, right, with new vendors and new technology and things like that come out. I think it's going to be good for the industry, good for owners, good for vendors. So it's been great so far.
So a lot of people are here talking about AI. It's all the rage. What I'm really focused on right now is I feel like I want to be on the bleeding edge of AI. Like I'm curious, right? But what I'm really going all in on is I want to find how do I attract and bring in the 10X client, the one that brings $30,000 a lifetime profit to the business instead of $3,000. And I understand some markers of the difference there, but I don't know exactly how to find them, how to lean into it. But that's where we're headed.
That's great. And what is that person going to look like? For somebody who hears that and they're like, I don't know how to picture that.
That person, if I could paint the perfect picture, they actually have $200,000 to $1 million liquid right now, and they could greatly benefit from diversification into rental properties, right? Maybe they have a little bit of business experience. They understand what that relationship with a business manager should look like, because that's what we are. And then we've got the support, the financial strength, the whole picture's there. That person's going to stay 10 years plus, and they're going to get that 15 to 20% return because they're going to look at us as an asset manager partner.
So you might not have this figured out, but I'm thinking everyone watching this right now is like, how do you find these people?
Exactly. That's what we got to figure out.
That's what we're here figuring
I
out.
just hired a director of outbound sales. I'm working with a fractional CMO. I've got a full-time marketing manager now. So we want to get really clear. What I found in my life, sorry if this is a little too religious, I found that when we get really clear about what we're looking for, God opens the doors, and then we walk through them. So the clarity is where we're at right now, and we're going to find a way there.
I like it.
Yeah.
Set the goal before you know how to get there.
That's it. Yeah. Get really clear.
Thanks, Mark.
All right.
How are property management companies, or how should they be growing their companies this year?
I think number one, they need to focus on really getting clear on who their target client is and focus on that, build their systems out to be able to support those people once they attract, so they're not churning them out the back end as fast as they can bring them in. Plus you can message so that you're attracting those people, breaking through the noise, making sure that what you're doing to build and generate leads and build interest in your company is different than everything else in your marketplace.
I love that. I have so many PM companies that don't understand why they need to differentiate themselves and target a specific clientele. And I say, it's not just for the sales, it's not just for the messaging. I think it's for operations.
Sure, absolutely.
How do you think people should be tailoring their operations for their ideal client profile?
Well, I think you need to decide. I mean, this is an easy one, but do you focus on the accidental landlord that has one or two properties, or do you focus on the major investor? And I'll talk to companies and they'll say, well, we do both. We do everything. And that's cool if you can get to that level, but you don't start out that way, right? You start out by picking, what are my systems designed to support? And then that's the messaging I use to bring those people in, so that when they're in, they don't feel like it's a bait and switch where they're delivering exactly what they said they were going to deliver based on what I was told during the dance or the dating phase of the relationship.
I'm here with Mark Ainley from GC Realty, a longtime client and a good friend, and one of the smartest guys in property management. Tell us, you've been at the conference, you just told me you're heading out. What's something you learned that you're excited to share?
So I think we spent so much time building a marketing operation that we forgot some of the grittier, scrappier things that we did to get here. And you know, I was in one of the breakouts, and it was about your current clients and the referrals, and just being able to communicate with them, touch them, show them how much you appreciate them. That worked for so many years before we built out, podcasts, all that type of stuff. So going back to some of that stuff is probably one of the bigger takeaways I took.
Great. What's exciting for you this year? Moving on.
We've finally broken down our strategy into really 3 buckets. Our SEO, are the people that have already raised their hand that we have in their system that, in Lead Simple, they've downloaded something, and then just everyone else. We call it spray and pray. So that's our 3 buckets. And every time we're creating content, it falls into one of those buckets. And if we can create something that falls in all 3 of those, it's even better. But with the ultimate goal of bringing it right back to our website.
Thanks, man.
All right, man.
I don't know why we want to choose these, but it feels like it, right?
No, it feels appropriate.
So what's one thing that you hear people talking constantly about from this conference?
So obviously AI is the big question and what everybody's interested in. It seems to me that these AI vendors think they can take property managers out of the game or do their job for them. So a couple of property managers I talked to, which I really liked, they're saying we kind of need to go backwards a little bit and get back into relationships and actually talking to people, because it seems like, and I'm a vendor here too, trying to make property management life easier, but it seems like they're trying to take the job away from property managers for a fee, right? And we love property management. We're all about fees, but it seems like they want to answer the phones, do your maintenance, do your invoicing, everything for a fee. And it's like, well, why do I need a property manager then?
Yeah.
So I think if we're not careful, we're going to lose, like realtors lost everything to Zillow. Property managers might lose our game to our software companies.
I agree.
So my biggest takeaway, God, there's been so many, but I really like the funding options that have been here at the bank and the banks. And then my other really favorite part has been talk about this morning legislation, get the EPA stuff.
Wow.
Gotta get compliance.
Exciting stuff. Okay, you hear it first. What flavor liquid death?
Ooh, mango. Do you have like a mango?
Mango
Done.
it is. Okay, thank you. All right, I'm here at Broker Owner. We're double micing it today, single micing it today. We're going to walk around and find out what people's key takeaways are and learn a little bit more about what people have learned from this year's 2025 Broker Owner Conference. Let's go.
Are these are fake?
No, they're real.
Oh, okay.
But she can't hurt them.
Don't break the mics. That's expensive equipment.
Don't touch it, baby.
All right, you ready? Okay, cool. All right. So we got Brad here at Profit Coach. So excited to have you here with us.
Yes.
Talk to me a little bit about what your favorite color is.
Oh, my
and
favorite
why.
color is red.
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 Ooh, I like it. Why?
I went to NC State University, go Wolfpack, and I bleed red. Also, it's a nice aggressive color.
Aggressive.
You know?
Okay, you're a
Work
fighter.
hard. Yeah, I'm a fighter.
All right.
Red's my favorite color.
Mountains or ocean?
I live 10 minutes from the beach. My default answer must always be ocean.
All right. What's the number one thing you're hearing at this conference? Takeaways from PMs.
Well, the first one is that I have the cutest daughter in the world.
Absolutely.
Her name is Barrett.
Hi, Barrett.
And then the second one is You're okay. We're still hearing from a lot of property managers that they are. Here, hold on one second.
Barrett, come see me.
Struggling to implement systems and processes in their business in order to drive efficiency, optimize team performance, and create value for owners. So we're still working really hard to try to help build out systems and processes for folks in order to get those things done.
I love it. Barrett, you got anything to say? No, we're all done with today, aren't you? All right. Thanks, Brad.
Thanks a lot.
Did you just say? All right, guys, I got a question for you. What's your favorite color?
Green.
Green, actually.
No wonder we were. I think we're at an inflection point with AI and sort of disrupting the incumbent ways of doing things, and maybe even some vendors. So I'm really trying to keep my ear to the ground on what property managers are making of all of this, because they're sort of, you can tell that people are really, they know it's a thing, but they don't really know what to think about it yet. And so they're looking for thought leaders, and they're looking for vendor leaders, and they're looking for, how is this going to affect my business? I'm hearing this, I'm hearing that, everyone's talking about it, but where's the rubber meet the road for a property management business owner? I think the next year is going to be fascinating to watch how it all plays out.
Yep, we'll see where things go. I agree with you. All right, last question, then we all done.
I hope you weren't looking for a one-word answer to that. Because
Peter, I never get a one-word answer out of you. Favorite social activity so far?
Karaoke.
Oh, where'd you karaoke?
It's a place called Mother Muffs.
All right, guys, welcome to Property Management Cribs. We are here with Kristen and PM Path Builders, who's going to take us on a tour through her booth.
Welcome to my crib. Come on in. So over here, we have a Hall of Fame where we've got some of the top thought leaders in the property management space. As you notice, we do have Jeremy Pound here, Jordan Whala. We have just, the heavy hitters here with just some throwback photos, which is just great. The vibe we're going for here is college dorm room, and I really think that we hit the nail on the head there. Now, this is just our Polaroids that we've taken. We do have chocolates here as well. These are handcrafted from Peru chocolates, okay? And then you come over here to the lounging area, and we do have a couch and a chair with really wonderful, again, handcrafted pillows. Now, the star of the show here is, in fact, Jen, can you come hold this for me, please?
Would be happy.
Do you know what this is, Jen?
No, I don't.
It's an axolotl. And this is a real animal. You can Google this. It is in with the kids right now. And the reason that we have this is because we have a different stuffy for every conference. Last time we had a cow, Matthew McConaughey, because we were in Dallas. It was awesome. But this here, the reason we have this is because at my kids' school, they have an axolotl song. And so they were like, you need an axolotl. So that is what we have. But you can Google that. You can learn something. And
what's the axolotl's name?
Axolotl.
That's it?
That's it. Axie axolotl.
Oh, I like Axie.
It's Axie.
Axie for sure.
And they're actually pink. So you're welcome for the tour, and you learn something National Geographic. So you just didn't know you'd get it all here at this booth.
Now you've seen Kristen's crib and met Axolotl.
Thank you guys so much for stopping by. Wish I had a door.
Kristen didn't acknowledge me at all was even better.
And here, stuffed in the corner is actually the brains of the entire company. This is Candace, the business partner. Candace, what would you have to say about our booth?
It's really cool.
Coming to this event has been opened my eyes to see, man, look at all the cool technologies and the young and exciting ideas that are in this space. Now this industry is really different than what I initially thought.
All right, so we saw you last night at dinner. Tell me about what you ate and if you'd go back and eat it again.
Absolutely would go back. Had the carbonara, had a Peroni, Italian beer, and it was delicious. Yeah.
I saw you eat some desserts.
You did.
I was
so
jealous.
We had 3 scoops of coffee gelato and 3 cannolis.
Okay.
We got talked into it. I told them one scoop, but they said you got to do 3, 3, and 3. So yeah.
That's the way to go. All right, can you play air guitar?
No, but I can try.
All right, come on. Give it a shot. Yes, you have it here first. We have the official first air guitarist of the conference. Tell us a little bit about Utility Profit.
So Utility Profit streamlines utilities when tenants have to get services put into their name. Our tool's tech forward. It's all white labeled for the property management company. So it's kind of an extension of their team when it comes to setting up utilities. Walks them through setting up internet, electric, gas. Property manager has a dashboard to verify all things have been set up at each property without chasing tenants down for those service connections. We sync with all the major property management software. So it's kind of a set it and forget it tool, runs in the background automatically for them.
That was a fantastic show. That's all I can say. Beautiful place. Some amazing people. Had some great meals as well. Learned a ton, caught up with a ton of friends, and just had some of the best conversations. If you haven't been to a broker owner, I highly recommend it, both for the content and for the vendor trade show booth, where a lot of that footage that you saw took place. But I also say a lot of the meetings that are happening around the grounds are absolutely irreproducible anywhere else. So it's always worth going there. We had a blast. Back to reality now. Talking to a ton of clients. Everybody's back to business as usual. But there's still some chances to get together with your peers and us at future events. So let's jump right into the calendar. Our next event is April 16th to 18th. Cal NARPM is having their 2025 conference and trade show in Huntington Beach, California. I'm sure it's going to be a beautiful location. We've got Tyler from the RentScale team going, so if you're out there, make sure to say hi. After that, in May 21st and 23rd, Tampa Bay, Florida, Rentvine is hosting their user conference, which I'm hearing great things about. I believe this is their first one. If you're a Rentvine user or considering being one, maybe you should check it out. And of course, the big event that we've been talking about mostly here at Strategic PM, the first ever Strategic PM Summit in Florida. We're hosting that in August, the 21st and the 22nd. You've seen some of the speakers. This is a one-of-a-kind growth conference just for residential property managers. So you'll be hearing from national speakers that typically wouldn't be in a room of less than 200 people, but we're limiting this to only 80 companies. You're also going to hear from some of the fastest, most innovative property management companies in the industry. And so I hope you'll put it on your calendar and you check it out. For all things Strategic PM, including the summit, just go over to strategicpm.com, where you can find more information like we share in the show. You can find some of those interviews. You can find all of the articles in the magazine and more. And we always have new tips for a property management company who's looking to grow. Everything is absolutely free. And I'd encourage you guys to like and subscribe to Strategic PM on any of the social channels. We're on X, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, pretty much anywhere you look, you will find Strategic PM, and we'd love to see you there. Appreciate you guys being here. I was really excited to share all of that information with you and some behind the scenes from the trade show. And that's what's happening this week in PM.